Hello and welcome back to the slightly drunk and completely unscripted What the Falk after Sunderland beat Oxford quite comfortably 2-0. There's a few of us on the night and we're going to toast to Sunderland's 2-0 win, and I got the can open perfect there at the same time with a few of the normal regulars. Brad, good day. Really happy. It's going to be a good pod, but how are you doing, mate? Are you all right?
In life, I am, yeah. And Sunderland are making it even better. It's just, everything's just great at the moment. Yeah, I can't wait to talk about this one, actually, because that's as controlled a performance I think I can remember. So, yeah,
Easy.
very, very good. How are you?
Yeah, mate, I'm really happy. It's been a while since I've done one where I've had a few beers, and I'm not a big drinker, to be honest. For those listening, I think I just like whiskey more than I should. Occasionally, I do. But yeah, great. I just come back in the house, got back from Glasgow. Just so happy with everything. The way everything that's happening at the minute, everything with Sunderland just feels amazing. A brilliant performance, and there's just not going to be any negative in this. It's just great. Pete, as ever, Mr. Faithful, you look dishevelled this evening. Not that it matters, no one can see that. You normally have like a suit and everything on, and now you've got a hood on, and you look like you might be looking after a child.
Yes, I am. I am on childcare duties tonight with my daughter, while my wife has a well-earned evening out. But and she is asleep. So if you do hear my voice slightly changes, because I've got to go and see to her. But what a day, though! Fantastic. Look, it's one of the best performances, most complete performances I've seen from them this year. But it also comes off the back, or it's the third different game, if that makes sense. Did I get that right? Tough games, three of them very different games, and the way that they've handled all of them has just been smashing, over the moon.
Out of curiosity, do you feel even happier by the fact that there's loads of different fan bases being like, they're just lucky? It's like, aye, we're 5 points clear though. At this point in time, it might change, but we're not that lucky because at this minute of time, we're 5 points clear of everyone else in the league.
Yeah, you can only play against the teams that are put in front of you, and they've played quite a lot of the teams that you would think that by the end of the year by the end of the season will be right up there or thereabouts, and they've done well against them. They've beaten most of them, and it is absolutely filling me with joy. The tears of immeasurable sadness from some of our competitors in the championship, and long may it continue, because those tears are just getting saltier and saltier by the day.
I don't want to talk about opposition teams anymore because I've got my Sunderland back. I'm so happy.
I'm so happy. I've got my Sunderland back.
I've got my Sunderland back. I'm so happy. Dave, look.
He's saltier than the North Sea, him.
I'm pleased he did it. Made the win better for me. Dave, look, there's just no negative at the minute, and I'm sure it's not always going to be like this, but let's revel in it. Sunderland at the top of the league, 5 points clear, playing brilliantly. There's 11 players we could wax lyrical about and do our own podcast about. Just how good does it feel to be a Sunderland fan at the minute?
Yeah, fantastic. I think today, no disrespect to Oxford, but I don't even think we really got out of second gear. And some of the football was liquid, to be honest. I mean, the way that excuse me, the way that I would go as far as saying dissected between their lines at times was phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, Wilson Isidor. I can't believe Lee said that he was a winger, because it's absolutely stupid from him. Absolutely stupid. I mean, we've all been watching football for long enough to know that he's clearly a centre forward and finishing like that. So it's a shame that he's not here to defend himself in it. I apologise, Lee. You are the oracle. You were right. I love you, but I love Wilson more.
I mean, Dave, I'll stay with you on this. We said a few weeks ago, we really wanted Wilson Isidor to just be a good signing, essentially. And look, long way to go in this season. Everything feels fantastic, but I'm not going to temper expectations today because I've had quite a few whiskies on the way back. Expectations, what are those? Wilson has been amazing with the fans, probably even better and the way that he's bought into the club than these first few weeks when you were like, what's this guy on? But he goes and pulls a goal like that out today, a week after he's done like an 80-yard sprint. We waxed lyrical about him last week, and that goal he scored on the break against Hull, that was allegedly assisted by a ref. But today, again, just it's a FIFA goal in it. You're saying hit it. You're not really expecting it to go in, but he's really proven to be a superbly likable character. I don't know if that's a thing. A really likable character off the pitch because he's just buying into it, singing with the fans and all that. But like, let's not let it cloud over how good he's been on the pitch. It's been great, hasn't he?
Yeah, definitely. He just seems to be getting better and better. If ever there was a foreign footballer needed to look at somebody and kind of go, if you want to settle into life quite quickly in a foreign country, he's probably the epitome of what you should be doing. He's absolutely magical, winding up opposition fans, dancing, and then you can get away with that when you're pulling worldies out. I mean, that's two in a week. So you can't say it's a fluke. I hope he goes and gets 20 goals a season. I hope 18 of them are like that, and I hope we're in the Premier League so that nobody can take him off us, because he clearly loves us and we clearly love him. So onwards and upwards, I reckon.
Only thing I'm going to say, Dave, as well, look, I consistently recommend people to unsubscribe, unfollow, and all that kind of stuff. But one person I never want to unfollow What the Falk podcast is Wilson Isidor, who followed us last week and became the first Sunderland player, stupidly, to follow What the Falk. I will not post this because it would be embarrassing, but I've already sent him 4 messages to say that I love him. As it stands, no response, but we'll wait and hope. Pete, I'll go in reverse order here. I feel like I could talk about Wilson Isidor all night, to be honest.
Please tell us what those messages say.
I just said, love you repeatedly. Like, love you, Wilson. One of them was, I love you more than I loved you on Wednesday, Wilson. No reply, though. No reply. But
I'm not surprised.
So many players. No, you reply eventually, don't worry. There's so many players you could have picked out today. So many. I normally get you to pick one, but like let's just go for it. Like, let's just pick them all up because there were so many good performances again today and the whole week.
Absolutely. And again, 3 different types of match, and they've played each one of them spectacularly. So obviously the lads on the field deserve a massive amount of credit. Obviously, and Le Bris deserves a massive amount of credit for getting everybody set up in the right way, in the right time, the right way for all those different types of matches, because that whole match turned out to be a bit more chess matchy as Hull tried to absolutely stop everything that Sunderland would do. I still feel sorry for Hull fans having to watch that. Then Luton, I mean, that was just GBH in football. Weird anti-football being played there as well. And today, which everybody thought, well, look, okay, we should beat Oxford, but this was the game we picked out a couple of weeks ago, and I said that's probably got underwhelming Sunderland performance in actual defeat written all over it, after playing well in the previous 2. In previous seasons, probably, that's happened. That's caught Sunderland out time and time again, and they didn't this time. So, whether it's the keeper making his debut right the way through to Leo Hjelde coming on for the amount of minutes he did, and he seems to be some crack, that lad, considering how much everybody loves him. Must be a great laugh. Anyway, just they're all absolutely phenomenal. I think if you look at that, the 3 in midfield, I think just deserve all of the plaudits that could ever come their way. I think Dan Neil had his best game he's had this season. Instrumental throughout, calm and collected, doing the things he hasn't been doing previously, the simple things, and just getting them done right. Absolutely brilliant to see. I mean, Jobe and Rig might be amongst the best centre midfielders in the country at the moment. If you were to put them on current form against even the best in the Premier League, they're probably the most firing on all cylinders. I mean, some of the touches from Chris Rig today, there's one where it's about 3/4 of the way through. I'm still in Germany, so I was watching on the stream, and he pulls out this beautiful Maradona turn, and it's just thinking, ooh, That's nice. And there was another, like, that's something we don't see. It gives you such a boost watching them. I've gone on for too long without saying, I quite easily could have just said every single one of them was phenomenal. Wilson Isidor, though, I will have to just get one thing. And look, his goal is fantastic. I love the things with the fans. He's obviously got right into us. The thing I love the most about him, though, is his ability to win that ball and keep it, even when I think I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, when it's kicked in his vicinity, he's going to get something on it. Even if the pass isn't perfect. And when you've got Jobe and you've got Rig, you've got Roberts and others who can hit a brilliant pass in that Sunderland team, you're more likely than not going to get the better pass. But if it's not there, or if the defender gets something, he has those lovely long legs that he's able to just get something on it and win control back and turn at times like things that aren't on into something. And no, just massively impressed right across the board.
When I came out the stadium, I seen an Oxford fan and I was feeling boisterous and I was like, we're fucking class, aren't we? And he was like, not the best team I've seen this season. And I went, who isn't? And he went, Coventry. I was like, you just put that in your arse. He went, they were really good. I was like, you honestly don't think that was okay? No worries. But that's how confident I feel about the team today. And look, the arrogance and the kind of boisterousness and all that stuff could come and bite me back in the arse. But I've seen my team get relegated twice back to back. I've seen my team relatively be shite for a long time and struggle to get wins against Gillingham. I've seen Phil Parkinson set up 5 at the back against Gillingham and had to take all that shite. So I'm going to enjoy it whilst it's good, because I'm really proud of the team at the minute. Like when I see Jobe Bellingham performing the way he does for us, and Chris Rigg performing the way he does for us, and Dennis Serkin dropping consistent 8s, Trey Hume flying into someone, I just think, you know what, I love every single one of this lot. And like we touched on Leo Yelder before, and had a bit of a laugh, but he seems like he's sound in the dressing room as well. So
yeah,
I love him as well. I love him as well. Brad, I want to concentrate on a player I think we've always really liked. For me, there was no better player on the pitch than Jobe Bellingham. And I said it last week, that boy hasn't had a bad game and he's strolling through matches this season. Some people said, are you worried about him in January and X, Y, and Z? Aye, but look, I'm just going to enjoy him whilst he was here. But another brilliant performance, a great finish, dominant. Just, for me, he's our best player, Brad. He just is. I don't know if you agree with me on that, but brilliant again, wasn't it?
Yeah, excuse me. This season he's been on another level. We knew he was good last year. Mismanaged. Probably seen them have a dip in form. But my word, what a player he is this year. And sometimes I just need I have to pinch myself and take a step back and go, this kid's 18.
19. Just
19.
turned.
Just gone 19. And
you're getting on now.
Think, one of the senior members.
Senior squad member.
But you've just got to look at it and think, like, 19 years old. I've just coached Archie's team in Gateshead this morning, under 14s. And that kid's 5 years older than them. And he's running championship midfields, man. And it is absolutely frightening. Yeah, it was a great finish. Just everything about him. I tell you what I love about him, and it's a similar sentence to what Pete was saying there about Isidor. If there's a bad pass that goes into him, his ability to get it under control, just do a 180 and he's away, and no one can stop him. We said last season, like Jack Clark, for example, everyone knows he was going to cut inside and ping it in that far corner, but you just could not stop it. Everyone knows what Jobe Bellingham's going to do when he's got the ball at his feet. They just can't stop him because he's that good at what he does. But yeah, for me, he was excellent. I think there was maybe 2 more players I would point out for equal credit today. And one of them especially, Graham, and I want to mention him while I'm on, is I've given him quite a bit of stick recently. But look, in the last 3 games, he's got an assist in each game, technically. And that's Dan Neil today. I thought Dan Neil was phenomenal. He just got everything that we'd done just came through him, keeping the ball ticking over, kept recycling anything that he had to. He was outstanding, and the other ones, our lovely Luke. I just think he gets better every game. He just oozes class. But for me, yeah, I'd agree with you. Jobe Bellingham, is he the best player that we've got? There's an argument for other players, but I would be very much on the side of arguing for Jobe Bellingham.
Yeah.
But I think it's worth me, while I'm on, I've given Dan Neil criticism. I thought he was excellent today. And Luke O'Nien just every single week gets better and better and better.
O'Nien, for me, he keeps, I touched on Sirkin dropping 8 out of 10s every week, and O'Nien for me does the same. Like this season, I kind of get my head around how a number 10 that came from Wickham 6 years on is now one of the best centre-halves in the Championship. But I don't know whether you've seen it, and I'm delving more and more into stats because I think the world of football is going that way, and I predominantly haven't really looked at it. Our midfield today, Dan Neil, 93% passing accuracy. Jobe, 93% passing accuracy. Chris Rigg, 85. And I think what's interesting about that is all of those players didn't just pass it sideways and backwards, which is quite easy getting 93% when you do that. They all like turned their players, took their players on. And I felt, especially Dan Neil today, I felt, and we've discussed it on this podcast, that Dan Neil had been under par. I think it was after like the Derby sort of Leeds game. Very good against Hull last week. Better today. Good during the week. And I'm pretty certain, although one of the goals took an 80-yard run from Wilson Isidor, like I think that's 3 assists in the week. And that's the Daniel we know. And the Daniel we know that he's capable of. I thought today, but I thought Bellingham was the best player, I'm not going to lie. But for me, Daniel was faultless today. I can't think of anything. But then I also go back to Bellingham when I'm picking like my man of the match. And I think that chance when he like hit the bar, oh, like what a goal that would have been. Like, and there was points today where you had like Roberts, Rigg, Jobe Bellingham doing like back heels and just flicking it about, and just like you're thinking, how are these all coming off? And there was a point where I thought, it's the first time I felt since 97, 98, where I thought, I bet you these opposition fans are watching and thinking, oof. And then I went on Twitter and seen people saying, oh, they're not all that. I'm sorry, unless we fall backwards, we are. Like this season, we've been really good. I'm not happy because we're winning. I'm happy because I'm really proud of what I'm seeing on the pitch. I'm seeing two of the brightest young English footballers, in my opinion, in any of the top divisions, absolutely dominating games at the age of 12 and 13, or whatever they are. Like, it's just, and you've got a centre forward that seems like borderline nuts, but just seems to absolutely love Sunderland the same way I do, which is never going to happen, let's be honest. But everything's coming up Millhouse, for want of a better word. It's driving me to drink in the best possible way, which I'm really happy about. But Dave, one question that came up on listeners' questions, and it's like gradually came up as the games have gone on. But someone said, look at the table, we're 5 points clear of second. At what point do we start, they said getting excited. At what point do we start getting confidence that we are one of the better sides in this league? It's not just a good run of form. We are one of the best set-up sides in the league, and we can go for automatics this season because, hey, look, the season's long, but Dave, we're 5 points clear of second. You've got to start having a little bit of confidence, I think, Dave, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Couldn't get me words out there, by the way. I kept just like, I'm slurring. I'm so sorry, everyone. So sorry.
Somebody tweeted yesterday, I think it was a tweet anyway, about how get January, sign Ahmad and Henderson. And I kind of, was it you, Bradders, was it? And I just went, do you want to know something? I can actually see that coming off. And then I thought to myself, if we keep everyone fit, Pete's prediction of 100 goals and 100 points is absolutely spot on. Because I think if we added them two with the experience and the absolute sheer class, and I'm not saying for a second it's going to happen, but I am that hyped at the minute that why wouldn't they want to come and play football here? Because
I feel like that. Who wouldn't want to be part of Sunderland at the minute?
Exactly. So, yeah, I think I think especially as we're getting result like the Leeds game, we got. Do you know what I mean? We're getting results when maybe he's not quite deserved. And is that not what they say about good teams? Good teams always get results when it's not quite going their way. And we're doing that. Hull, we were a little bit average, but still won 1-0 because Wilson's the best centre forward in the world. Lee. No, sorry, not Lee. Yeah, so I don't want to get carried away because it's a Sunderland way to build up your hope and then get dashed. But why can't we? We're certainly in the top 6, that's for sure. I don't think Burnley are all that. I thought Leeds were going to come on really strong and just keep getting stronger, but they couldn't even score past the second best Bristol team. It's just madness. It's absolute madness. So, yeah, I think you've got to start believing a little bit, haven't you?
It's a long old season, but I honestly think if you told me after 11, 12 games would be 5 points clear, would you start believing you could win automatic promotion? I think it would be absolutely mad not to. We haven't played all the bad teams in the league back to back. We've played Leeds, we've played Borough, we've played Burnley. We've had Sheffield, who a lot of people at the time that we played them felt would be there or thereabouts. I think we played some good teams. I think there's times when we haven't been perfect. There's times when we have been perfect. There's times when you could say you've had a bit of favour. I don't think luck. I don't agree with it. I think we've deserved something in almost every game, apart from probably Plymouth. I can pick out 2 bad halves where I've been genuinely pissed off, which is probably Plymouth second half, Watford first half. Apart from that, I've been delighted. And look, it's a long old season. You could turn in a shite performance next week and end up being QPR and finishing 16th. That's the championship. No reason why that wouldn't happen. But what would be the fun in that? And just worrying about that? It's just no fun in that. Like, we've proven to this point that we are the best side in the league on that thing that is called a league table, which literally is a barometer of like teams in the league. It literally does that for you. You don't even have to make a judgment. It does it for you. And we're 5 points clear. So if we can't be confident at this point, when we're going to be. Pete, I'm going to ask you a really interesting question here. I think it's interesting.
Go on then.
Start the preview season. I'm not going to rewrite history. I thought there was tons of errors made last year from about whenever Michael Beale was appointed up until about May and onwards. It's quite clear that the ticketing situation is still not perfect. It's quite clear that Hummel can't get the sizing right, but that's not the club's fault. But, some things have been fixed, but we basically said in the summer we felt like there was so many errors made, there's a long way to go to not garner favour, because I think it doesn't take much to garner favour with a fan base when you're winning games. But like we said, there's a lot of things that they made errors on, Speakman, KLD, X, Y, and Z, that it was going to take quite a lot to pull it back. And I'm not going to be like fully turned over by it within 12 games. But like, especially Speakman, there's got to be some credit, I think, hasn't there?
Yeah, there has to be. And look, I was among those Sunderland fans that were saying, oh, he's doing this wrong. He's not got this right. Why is he not brought in a striker? Why is he not brought in this person? This person's available. Are we not in for them? And obviously he had a plan, and that plan has so far worked really, really well. And I am clearly wrong. And there's a reason I do what I do for a job. And I'm not the director of football at Sunderland or anywhere else. Good for them, probably. Look, the recruitment has been shown to be pretty excellent so far. And the people that he's brought in to fill the gaps that needed filling last year have been fantastic. I think if we look at the likes of Alan Brown not being able to get into that current Sunderland first 11 at the moment, in the position you would imagine that he would be in, it just shows how much the players that were brought in have developed. I think getting Jobe signed up on a contract in the summer was a massive thing for them. And yeah, look, there's still problems. I can tell you one of the great things they've sorted out is, because I just spent like far too much money on the Hummel stuff that dropped the other day. Apparently, they've seem to have made it much easier for fans like myself who don't live in the UK to buy stuff and have it delivered. So let's see. It's supposed to arrive next week, and I can find out whether I am a large, an extra large, or a triple XL in all of the different Hummel stuff, because it is just like jazz sizing. But never mind. Yeah, look, they've getting so much. Things that aren't right will always look better when results are going well on the pitch, and Sunderland are playing a style of football on the pitch that we enjoy watching. And that's what they're doing at the moment. It's going to buy them a lot of credit with fans if they're winning. They must know that there are some pretty dire things going on behind the scenes, and hopefully they're working to sort them out. And yeah, I mean, look, Speakman's clearly bought himself, or should have, I think even by now, bought himself a hell of a lot of grace with Sunderland fans, particularly those like myself who were particularly salty in their criticism of him. And yeah, there you go. I was wrong.
What did you buy from Hummel, most importantly?
Oh, I bought the red and black jumper, new one. I bought the red and white
gorgeous
red and white like quarters top.
Like the rugby/clown suit.
Yes, exactly. So I bought that, and I bought a load of stuff for the Ben. So yeah, she's 5 months old and has all the kits now.
I sat and waited, and I'm on holiday in 2 weeks, just over. And I seen they were doing a retro capsule, and I was like, don't you dare do 93, 94, because that was like my first real season of following Sunderland, like going to the match on a regular basis as a Ben. So I remember all the kits and who wore it: Russell, Martin Smith, all that kind of stuff, managed by Terry Butcher at the start, Mick Buxton at the end. And I was like, oh, that jumper's 93, 94. I know it. Oh, shit. And then like I seen the rugby shirt, and I was like, oh, I don't even think I like it, but I think I might buy it, And I managed to convince myself not to buy the jumper.
I've no idea where I'm wearing that.
I seen some guy wearing it on the train, banging, thick.
You wear it like on your chest and your back.
Yeah, I know, but I meant at what occasion, Bradley? At what event am I turning up at wearing this? But on that jumper, the red and black one, I mean, there is a picture somewhere at my mum's house in Hetton of St Aidan's in about, well, it would have been 94, won't it? 94, 95. And I think out of the 14 lads on the trip to Hadrian's Wall, like 80% of them have that jumper on. So I've probably had one. I mean, I'm almost certainly I had it. I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, I've gone back for it again.
The big Hummel sign on the back? Someone said that ruins it. I don't think it does, because I like kind of being like, I'm Hummel. Like, I quite like that. I feel quite a staunch kind of strength with Hummel, the same way like I do with Sunderland. But Brad, there was something I was thinking about that. Look, I'm drunk. It's fine. Who gives a shit? We're 5 points kicked up the league. It's fine. I'm allowed to be. I'm not going to edit this, by the way. So if you haven't enjoyed it, tough. Until next week. But I think we touched a lot on Rig, Jobe, Hume, Sirkin, players that we've like concentrated on quite a bit. We spent a lot of last year saying these players are good players. We just feel like they need a bit of guidance. And I think one of the biggest appraisals, one of the biggest good things about Christian Speakman or whoever's dealt with the signings of this season is the fact that they've identified it needs a little bit of experience in there as well. I think Alan Brown was the one that kind of got the poster boy for, we have a guy who's 29 or 28. But Chris Mepham again today. And I just think he leads by total example. But if you look through that team today, look, okay, Simon Moore's not going to play regularly, but you had a 34-year-old who won't have been fazed by a debut. He's been there, he's done it, and he was fine today. Didn't have much to do, but what he did need to do, he was fine. You've got Mepham, 26, Luke O'Nien, 29, which is still surprising. Hume, Sirkin, very young. Jobe, Chris Rigg, children. Dan Neil, old, but only to people who are children. 22, I think. You've got Roberts, 27. You've got Mundell, 21, 22, and Isidor, 24. still a very young team, but the spine that is essentially Mepham, O'Nien, and then occasionally Brown coming in and Daniel with the experience. Those little tiny bits of experience, how much of a difference have they made, and how much credit? And me and you, Brad, big critics of Speakman at times last season. How much credit does the club deserve, and him specifically?
Yeah, definitely. I think we said it was it season before last when we got to the playoffs, when we said if you look at our spine, it was Danny Bart, O'Nien as well, sometimes, or Ballard. And then you had like Alex Pritchard, Ross Stewart, you could say, or Gucci was there, but we had like a consistent spine running through of experience is why we got where we were. Just a quick one on Mepham. It's mental to think, right, he's a year older than Dan Ballard. Like, he's only a year older. And Dan Neil has got more appearances in the Championship than him. But what he brings to that team is unbelievable. Like, since he's been in, I know we kept clean sheets at the start of the season, but we just look so much more settled and competent at the back since he's came into that team. And the recruitment team and Speakman need to take a heck of a lot of credit for that. And it's funny because you just mentioned me and you, Slayton Speakman. I think up until halfway through the Beale appointment, I was probably Speakman's biggest defender. I was the last one clinging on to hope. And I was like, nah. And then because of you and Dave, I went completely 180 and ended up having arguments with him at a children's fair and stuff like that. So what can I say? But yeah, Mepham. And I think I said it in the group, or I might have said it on Twitter, how I would describe what Chris Mepham's brought to the team is arguably on par with what Ahmad brought to us going forward. He's brought it into defence. He's that important of a loan signing. The happiness with this one is I feel like I'll be able to fall in love with him because I think we'll get him at the end of the season on a permanent. That's just how I feel. I think is his contract.
I think we have to.
And I think his contract might be up with Bournemouth, or there might be a trigger of an extension.
I think it's that. I think he's got a trigger of an extension, but like, look, whether we stay in this division or whether we go up, someone said to me today, they're like, the way Mepham plays, that's actually almost a worry because that's what's not good enough apparently for the Premier League mid-table. And he's like, he just coasts through games. Like, he just coasts through it.
He's too good. He is literally too good. And it's not just his defensive work, it's his stuff with the ball at his feet. I mean, don't get us wrong, the only time Simon Moore was tested today was because of Chris Mepham. And he dealt with that all right, because I thought I did think Mepham felt a bit sorry for Moore, so he thought, right, I'll have a shot at you instead. So yeah, he's dealt with that. But yeah, that spine that we've got is making a huge difference because it just allows our players with the less of experience, the ones who are more out wide, just to flourish and play their own game.
I think it's just great, isn't it? I'm so pleased I don't need to edit this. I don't care. I hope you like it. If you don't, it's fine. But like, Sunderland are 5 points clear at the top of the league, if you haven't noticed. And I'm drinking a M&S pina colada. It's really nice.
I've got my Sunderland AFC back. Oh, I am so happy.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Dave, before we go, one question that a lot of people have been asking: when do we make Wilson Isidor's signing permanent, and how long should the contract be? Let's do some silly stuff.
So I'd like to think that the signing is pretty much done for 1st of January when the transfer window opens. But if not, as long as it's done at some point, and just give them the keys to the city, I reckon. I just might as well. You know, I don't know how... excuse me again. I don't know how many people's got keys to the city, but he should have a big magic one to go with his magic wand.
Big
That's
magic one.
Oh, Bally, give us the key back. There's a new man in town.
I think it's been scatterbrain, this episode, to be fair. But it's fair to say we might all be listening to an AI version of Wilson Isidor's song this evening, which I might have done already. But look, final question before I let you go. I'll go you first, Pete. I think I said this at the start, but let's just ask it again. How great is it to be a Sunderland fan at the minute? It's not always great, so let's revel in it.
77 goals to go, 72 points to go, and to them making 100 points and 100 goals. And I think it just looks set at the moment. They are doing everything right. It's brilliant being a Sunderland fan at the minute. It's nice to look forward to the match again. It's been a while.
Love it. I love Sunderland no matter what happens. League One, League Two, non-league. I'll always love Sunderland. I'm getting emotional here, but I'm so proud of them at the minute, and it's just so great to be a fan. And I'm so pleased that that's my club. But after 3, I think there's something that we should probably do. So if you can all come off mute, please. His name is Wilson. Wilson Isidor.
Organising the do-do-dos is not going to be easy.
I genuinely thought you were going to get us off mute as a 1, 2, 3 to apologise to Christian Speakman.
I mean, we could.
Just a very quick one. While you lot have been playing idiots, I was just doing proper research and doing a bit of Opta-stats. I do believe, let me just check that I'm getting this right.
Great research, Dave.
I know. I just want to get the date right, mate, because I know me facts right.
Only 30 seconds left, Dave.
18th of January 2025 will be when we've won our 17th game in a row, which means we'll have officially won the title because Le Bris said 75 points does it. That's Burnley away. Roll on the 18th of January 2025. That's all I'm saying.
Having a laugh. Taking the piss. Top of the league with Regis Le Bris.
You can win the league by January.
We don't